Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 28 of Pumping Iron, the review series for the classic muscle cars of Gran Turismo. And in this particular episode we're featuring the third generation Corvette to be featured in this series. This is the L46 350 cubic inch Stingray, and this is quite simply the superior of the two C3 Corvettes in terms of sheer on-paper spec. However, it is not without its downsides. For a start, it is not a premium model, and that's a real shame because the other model looks great and feels at a better quality overall from being a premium model, and I would say it's actually one of the best circuit racing muscle cars as a result of that. This car may have the sheer spec, and it really does blow the other C3 out of the water for that, but the fact that it's not a premium does kind of detract from the enjoyment, for me at least. Now, in some ways it's very similar to the premium model which we already reviewed, such as the engine. It shares a 5.7 litre supercharged V8. It is of course the same basic car. It shares the front engine rear wheel drive platform, very similar looks, apart from not being a premium of course. But apart from that, that's pretty much where the similarity ends, because the price on this model is significantly more, 21,000 credits more to be exact, at 71,000 credits. And it also has, as I mentioned, a much stronger spec. The premium model produces 616 horsepower. This car produces 686. It also produces 707 foot-pounds of torque, which is 10 foot-pounds more than the premium model. It's also lighter at 1,221 kilos, which means it's around 20-ish, 20-25 kilos lighter. And it also puts out 562 horsepower per tonne, which is almost 70 horsepower per tonne more, which is a pretty significant margin. In terms of physical size, it's exactly the same. Same length, same height, same width. In terms of actual performance, the main difference between the two, in a straight line at least, is the acceleration. The top speed is fairly similar. They both do around 230 to 240 under their own power. But the acceleration is notably superior, as you'd expect, on this model. It has more torque and a lot more power to help it along its way. And funnily enough, even with that extra power and torque, it's still no way near being the strongest of muscle cars on the game. 686 horsepower is a lot, but that's no way near something like a Chevelle or a Charger or a Challenger. So it's really a testament to how good the Corvette is, that it is still such a competitive car despite having that disadvantage to many of the other muscle cars. And it's also not really that much lighter than most of them, if at all in some cases. So the Corvette is a very good car if you compare what it can do to what it's given to work with. Now, I mentioned that this car does have some downsides though. The main one being that it's not a premium. Also, the price is kind of a downside, being more, but you can understand that with the stronger spec. The main downside, apart from its not being a premium, because at the end of the day you can kind of take that or leave it, it's not really that important overall, you can do without it. As nice as it is to have an interior, there are plenty of good cars on the game that don't have them. The main downside apart from that, I would say, is actually the handling. And the handling, and you will recall from my premium episode, is one of the best points about the C3 premium model. It's possibly even its best point. It handles unbelievably well for a classic American car. This model, although far from being a bad handling car, just doesn't feel as sharp. The handling is a little bit more boatish. It wallows around a bit more. It feels, ironically enough, a bit heavier, despite the fact that it is a lighter car. And overall, I have to say, this model feels much more like a straight line hot rod than a track machine. And the premium model did feel like just that, a track machine. It felt like a classic racing car. This model feels like a road car. And that's kind of a shame, because in all the ways that matter, it's a superior car. It has a better spec. But the fact that it's a non-premium and the slightly sloppy steering, I would say prevent it from being a clearly better car than the premium model. Overall, if you're looking to buy a third generation Corvette, well, if you're a Corvette fan, you'll probably buy both anyway. But if you're not specifically a fan and just looking to buy them all, I would recommend, of the two, the premium model, because it's cheaper, has far better handling, is a fully detailed model and all that that implies, and is just a more competitive and more usable car all round. This car is for fans only, because fans will overlook the downsides because they love the car. But that's it for this episode overall. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.